On August 6, 1963, a man by the name of Kevin David Mitnick was born into a world engulfed by newly emerging and rapidly expanding phone and computer technology. From a young age, Mitnick was fascinated by the technology present at the time. He would spend hours tinkering with phones, computers, and software. Participating in activities known as phone phreaking, Mitnick and his friends would experiment with telecommunication devices such as phones, and they would also commit pranks. It was clear that even at a young age, Mitnick was very interested in pushing technology to its limits and even bending the rules by a little bit. For example, at the age of 12, Mitnick acquired a ticket punch card from his local bus driver. This would also allow him to ride any LA bus for free after he also found unused transfer slips in a dumpster next to the bus company garage. At the age of 16, Mitnick stole and copied the Digital Equipment Corporation's software code. He was able to do this after a friend gave him the phone number to the ARC. This was the computer system used by the company he hacked into. However, this would later lead to a 12-month sentencing in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Though hacking was his favorite pastime as a child and as an adult, he did participate in other activities. This includes being an amateur radio operator in Los Angeles and spending long periods of time riding the public bus as a young child. After this, he continued to hack various large companies illegally by exploiting their vulnerabilities. However, he claims to have had no malicious intent while committing these crimes. This is due to the fact that his hacks did not have any effect on the companies. They were mere attempts at gaining data. For him, hacking was almost an addiction. He garnered great enjoyment from figuring out ways to bypass security systems. For him, hacking was a game in which he acquired several aliases, such as the Condor and the Darkside Hacker. Further into his life, when he was convicted of 12 months in prison in 1988 for the previously discussed hack into the ARC, he decided to hack into Pacific Bell, a large telephone company which provided telephone services in California. Having just been released from prison, Mitnick gained access to Pacific Bell's voicemail computers, thus prompting authorities to issue a warrant for his arrest. This begins the next chapter of Mitnick's life, one wrought with dangerous situations and his choice to ensue the life of a fugitive. For years, Mitnick would continue his passion for hacking by gaining unauthorized access to numerous computer systems. He utilized cloned cellular phones in order to hide his location, and he stole many passwords, read private confidential emails which he broke into, and copied pieces of software from large companies. During all of this, in an attempt to elude the authorities, he would change his identity a multitude of times and move all over the United States of America. For Mitnick, this was a game of cat and mouse, hacker versus the government. There was even an instance when he was able to track the FBI and determine they were going to search his apartment building while he was gone. This prompted Mitnick to clear out his apartment or place of dwelling and to leave a box of donuts labeled FBI. Though Mitnick did admit to enjoying this risky game he played with the authorities, it did have very real consequences. In 1995, after years of hiding and eluding the authorities, Mitnick was finally arrested while simultaneously bearing the title of the most wanted hacker in America. This happened after he hacked into a computer belonging to a research scientist named Tsutomu Shimomura. Shimomura was able to trace Mitnick's connection to a cell phone tower near Raleigh, North Carolina. Mitnick was then charged with several counts of wire fraud, possession of unauthorized access devices, interception of wire or electronic communications, unauthorized access to a federal computer, and causing damage to a computer, and would spend 5 years in prison and 1 year in solitary confinement for these crimes. In the culmination of the trial, Mitnick would plead guilty to 4 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of computer fraud, and 1 count of illegally intercepting a wire communication. This was part of a plea agreement brought to him by the United States District Court for the Central District of California in Los Angeles. Mitnick also admitted to violating the terms of his previous supervised release when he hacked into Pacific Bell. Part of the reason for this sentencing was from law officials persuading a judge that Mitnick could start a nuclear war by whistling into a payphone, further implying that he could dial into NORAD with a modern payphone from prison and whistle in a certain way which would prompt the launch of nuclear missiles. Today, and even back then, this was viewed by many as a ludicrous claim. Individuals in high numbers felt Mitnick had been unfairly treated, which prompted them to start the Free Kevin movement. Hackers even gained access to Yahoo.com and displayed a message urging for the release of Mitnick. Mitnick had gained a large supporting after journalists picked up on the story. A large majority of these supporters argued that the punishments which Mitnick endured were excessive and the charges brought against him were fraudulent. In Mitnick's book, The Art of Deception, which was written in 2002, he claims he only hacked companies by using the passwords he obtained by social engineering. He says there was an absence of hacking tools or software tools during his hacks. The drama and controversy surrounding Mitnick, however, finally came to a summit when he was released from prison on January 21st, 2000. Though many believe this troubled past could only lead to an even more troubling future, today Mitnick is a leader in the world of cybersecurity. Not only is he a best-selling author and public speaker, but he is also the CEO of his own security company, Mitnick Security Consulting. Additionally, throughout his lifetime, he has advanced cybersecurity and has played an integral role in defining several hacking techniques, such as social engineering, which is the use of manipulation and deception to persuade certain entities to expose sensitive or confidential information. Usually this information pertains to the company they own or work for. Though Kevin Mitnick has had a criminal past, he has been a pioneer in cybersecurity and has made the world a safer place thanks to his current security practices.